For more information on today's program, contact Erica Taylor Montgomery at threegirlsmedia.com. Now, back to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy on the Bay Area's business leader, AM 1220 KDOW.
Good morning and welcome back to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy. I'm your host, Erica Taylor Montgomery, and our topic for round 2 of Punch is marketing your business online. Our guest is Bob Norp. He is with the Cool Beans Group, a marketing consultancy in New York, and he also is the host of the award-winning The Beancast Marketing Podcast. So, Bob, let's talk a little bit about those landing pages. When somebody clicks on an online ad, they need to go somewhere. And we were talking before the break that it's not enough just to drive them to your homepage of your website or something like that. They really need to be sent to a strong landing page where I believe there needs to be an extremely clear and strong call to action. What else should be taken into consideration when it comes to landing pages?
You know, we're sounding like a broken record at this point because it always comes back to objectives. I mean, what your objectives are should guide what your landing page. Your landing page should not just be an order-taking landing page if you're also trying to educate the consumer, if you're also trying to get them to engage with you, if you're also trying to just make them aware of things. I mean, you've got to clearly look at your objectives and build a landing page that makes sense for what you're actually asking people to click through to do. That's the most important thing. And then, you know, when it comes down to building a landing page that makes sense, I mentioned mobile. For God's sakes, I mean, if over 50% of emails are first seen on the mobile devices nowadays, if you're having that kind of response or that kind of acceptance in terms of how emails are being viewed, you need to be making sure that the end experience, how you go through, is able to deliver for a mobile experience in the back end. That takes things like responsive design. I'm not sure. The responsive design gets into like the 301 classes of web design, but essentially what it comes down to is if your developer is putting together a site that can respond to the different types of devices that are accessing it, and build a site that's going to deliver the most optimized content, the most optimized version of that site, no matter what the device is, you're going to be a heck of a lot better than having to build out a separate site for each of the different types of devices that you're going to be putting into play. But you need to be paying attention to the fact that all these devices are in play, and you need to be delivering the best possible user experience when people come to it. That's what's most important. And of course, you're absolutely right. I mean, you need to be giving a clear call to action. You need to be making no barriers in terms of how to get people to respond. I mean, how many times do we send out email campaigns and we know so much about the target market? We know so much about the person we're targeting, and yet we still give them a registration page where they have to fill out all their information. Why? If they're clicking through on an email, you should be pre-populating all of that information from your own database into this form so that all they have to do is say yes when they get there, and then you've collected all the information. Little steps like that can go a long way toward eliminating barriers and giving your target market the opportunity to respond with as little problem as possible.
And I think that's so important. Forms online drive me nuts. And if I simply want to, subscribe to somebody's e-newsletter or get a little bit more information about something or another, the last thing I want to do is spend 5 minutes filling out an online form that includes my name and address and company name and phone numbers and email and all of it. I just want the information.
You got that absolutely right. I mean, who wants to spend time filling out forms online, especially when you know in your heart that if you've contacted me, especially these outbound communications, if you've contacted me, you know all this stuff, Mr. Marketer. Why am I wasting my time? We need to be taking advantage of the data that we have in smart ways that are not creepy, but are just user-focused and all focused on trying to make the experience as easy as possible.
I absolutely agree with you. We are talking about marketing your business online. And if you have questions about this topic, you can reach us live at 800-516-1220. That's 800-516-1220. You can also email us at punchmarketingradio@gmail.com. That's punchmarketingradio@gmail.com. And our guest is Bob Norp with the Cool Beans Group. And so, Bob, let's talk a little bit about improving that user experience and how that can add value to somebody's social media efforts online. What do you think about that?
You know, the whole experience needs to be thought about whenever you're marketing. You can't just think about the fact that, okay, our objective is we're going to get sales, and then take a multi-channel approach, a so-called multi-channel approach where you're going to be on email and you're going to be on banners and you're going to be out there on maybe TV, maybe on print, and suddenly all these channels are saying the exact same thing. That's been a strategy for years. That's been essentially the old school advertising model. We get reach and frequency via all these different channels and we send it out. Well, these channels don't all work the same, and we've got to be incorporating opportunities not just to connect our Facebook page to the website and not just connect our Twitter account to the sales cycle. We need to be creating relationships on an ongoing basis and targeting those people who are our highest advocates so that we can create conversation that has nothing to do with us. That, in other words, so much of the effort to measure the effectiveness of social media online goes back to how many people are interacting with us, how many people are retweeting our content, how many people are sharing and liking our content. And the strength of social media, the thing that we want to be having happen is we want to inspire our audiences to have conversations about us without us being involved. I mean, that's where we have true advocacy, where one user is suggesting a product or a service to another user, and suddenly we have a great momentum toward driving sales. And then we create a true multi-channel approach where instead of trying to push forward on all these different channels, we're creating a sales story that evolves over time. We get the email out there, and that first tells them about the offer, potentially. And then we have the social media account, which has made that offer more receptive because they have a relationship with us. And then we have the landing page, which gives us the opportunity to not only make a sale, but also the opportunity to learn more about the company and potentially get into a deeper relationship, and drives back to the social media stuff again. It's a holistic type of approach where everything is working together to tell a bigger story as opposed to just tell the same story.
That makes absolute sense. And so let's talk about content resources, because I think it's so important to understand that. So how can really going deep with your content resources work and be even more necessary with online fulfillment than offline fulfillment?
I think it comes down to what kind of business are you running? I mean, if you're in a business-to-business type situation, you need to have deep content, mostly because most business-to-business type relationships are involving huge amounts of money. I mean, a single sale sometimes for a lot of business-to-business operations could end up being $100,000, $200,000, $1 million. You're not going to spend that money without some deep research and understanding and relationship. And that's what content marketing is all about, especially in the B2B space. It's all about creating this cloud of opportunity for people to delve in and feel like they're making an informed decision. That's the true strength of online marketing. And that's why online marketing is considered to be, content marketing online is considered to be so much more important, because online has given the user so much more power and has encouraged them to feel empowered about the buying decision. And if they don't feel empowered, if they don't feel like you're giving them enough information and you're not giving them the resources to plow through, they're going to go elsewhere where they feel more comfortable. Essentially, content marketing in that space is all about making the user feel comfortable, feel empowered. And now this is also true with consumer marketing, but it's a little bit different because, a lot of content marketing on the consumer side is not so much about giving a lot of information. You got to give enough information, but essentially the consumer the consumer side of marketing, it tends to be more about trying to make the user feel comfortable with the brand. So the types of content aim to entertain, possibly, or give a broader perspective of the product, or what kind of other uses of the product there are, and those types of things. But essentially, content marketing all comes down to make the user feel as comfortable as possible with their purchase decision. And if you have that going on with your content marketing strategy, well, then everything else is going to work a lot better.
Fantastic. We're talking about marketing your business online. You're listening to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy on 1220 AM KDOW, and we'll be right back after the break.